There we go. All right, let me share the screen and you guys can hear me all right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Uh, Okay, there we are. And let's see, slideshow from current slide. Okay, there we go. Well, it's great to be here. My name is Carla Hill. I'll talk a little bit more about myself in a bit and a little bit about how I got to be here in front of you today. But I want to talk about you first. And you are here because you're already participating with this fabulous company called Nu Skin, or you've been invited to check this out and you are looking for something to improve your livelihood. Maybe you're looking for a way to improve your lifestyle and do more things with your family. And some of you may be looking for legacy and what it could mean to literally change the financial landscape for your household and your family's future. And so, whatever it is, I want to tell you that you're here at the right place at the right time because Forbes says that the best time to join a company is when they're in the middle of a global expansion or a new product launch. And right now, today, in 2025, you are at the crossroads of both of those things happening simultaneous. So my name is Carla Hill. I have been a part of Nu Skin since 2011, and I came into it kicking and screaming a little bit because I had done direct sales companies for 30 plus years and I had been away from them for over 10 years because I had given up on being affiliated with a company that could actually deliver upon my dreams. But in 2009, my daughter was 12 years old. Her father passed away, and I realized I needed to be a full-time mom for my daughter to go through her healing. But I also had to replace both of our six-figure incomes. And so it put me in a very unique place. And I believe that everything happens for life in a reason, that we have these situations that occur that open doors that we would not have opened otherwise. And it was because of that situation that I was even open when one of the spa directors of one of my very bougie med spas that I worked with invited me to a lunch meeting and I knew it was direct sales and I almost didn't go. But I am so grateful every single day that I went because what I was exposed to is a little of what I'm going to share with you today and why this has been the greatest journey of my life. But I am more excited now than I have ever been. One of the things that we know is that our entire population is getting older. We're aging, but we're also living a lot longer. The life expectancy is now in the 90s and it used to be in the 70s. And so what's happening is that as we're aging, we're not always able to have the same youth and vitality in those last 5, 10, or 15 years. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is 15 seconds that can literally change your life and give you the ability to see what's going on inside of your body before symptoms occur. This is truly intelligent wellness, and it's literally upon us in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and it can be for you as well. So, I mentioned a little bit about how we are living longer, but not always better. And the goal is to take that extended lifespan that we have and bring our youth span up to it so that we're not just living longer, but that we have our health and vitality and that we're not in like the dimmer switch on a light switch the last 10, 15, 20 years of our life with increased symptoms and limited viability of joy. We want to add joy and we want to add youth to our life. So in the old paradigm, we used to think that aging was inevitable and that if you happen to come from a good gene pool, your parents, your grandparents lived well and didn't have any major disease, that you had a higher propensity of aging kind of the way they did. That was the old paradigm. And we couldn't really do anything about the genes that we were born with. But the new paradigm is that, wait a second, it's not just nature, but it is nurture. And we can actually do something regardless of the genetic heredity that we were born with to impact the way that we age. Dr. Joe Chang is our chief scientific officer, and he wrote a book that really kind of changed the landscape of how we looked at this. It was called The Aging Myth. And he began to talk about and introduce us to technologies and philosophies and practices that could literally impact the way that we age, so that it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we were going to have pain and discomfort. And something that you're very familiar with, that you've probably seen over and over and over again, is something that is kind of new to the scene in the last few years called biohacking, which gives us this ability to put our finger on the pulse on a daily, minute by minute, hourly position where we can start to measure the things that are going on in our body and then make small incremental changes to improve that. And so, as we talk about all of those things, they all point back to the ability to measure it, because we know that what is not measured can't be improved. And that's why biohacking is so important now. We want to be able to measure it and we want to be able to do something about it. We want to be empowered. So, these are some simple diagnostics that you're probably familiar with: the Whoop band, the Apple Watch, the Aura Ring. All of these are biohacking measurements that have led to multi-billion-dollar industries. So, for example, the simple diagnostic of cholesterol testing led to a $20 billion statin industry, and bone density scans drove $200 million in calcium sales, and the glucose device led to a $1.5 billion business there, and the Aura Ring has got sales of 500 million. And what's not on here is what is, I think, the most important, and that is antioxidants, not up until now. So at the very bottom of this chart, you're seeing that antioxidant supplement sales, 60 billion in the US alone. So it's got to be able to be measured in order to improve it, right? So one of the things that you may not know is that during the pandemic, 2020, supplement sales doubled. Even the 18 to 34-year-olds that you can see at the bottom of this screen, almost 70% are taking supplements. And the reason for that is that we realize that an apple a day used to keep the doctor away, but it takes 20 apples now to be the same nutritional equivalent of what one apple was 20 years ago. And so soil depletion and farming techniques have all resulted in the fact that we cannot eat our way to health. Therefore, we must supplement. So we have a $300 billion global supplement industry. We have a $60 billion US supplement market. And this leads to the very real factor of confusion, because when you walk into your local GNC or you go to Costco and you see a rack with a particular item that you're looking for, there may be a $5 version and a $50 version, and you're confused. You want to know what's on sale. You begin to look at the labels, although you're not really sure out of the percentages that are listed what's actually absorbing. And our biggest question is, if I buy this and spend my money on this, is it going to work? Is it going to make measurable differences in my body? And how am I going to know? And that is something that you deserve to know. We deserve to know, all of us deserve to know, that what we're spending our hard-earned dollars for in the areas of supplements, that they're absorbing and they're actually working. So the device that you're looking at here has Nobel Prize winning technology. It's called the biophotonic scanner. And this was introduced 15 years ago. And what it was the first device that was ever able to non-invasively measure living tissue in real time without using needles or a blood serum draw. And what it's measuring is the level of antioxidants, specifically the carotenoids in our body. And the scientific data shows that your carotenoids are your largest body of antioxidants. And that little graphic that you're looking at in the middle, all the little squiggly lines, this is what they look like under a microscope. And around every single cell of your body is this hedge of carotenoids that act as your cellular bodyguards. And if they're dense and your score on this device is really high, that means that whether it's a retina cell or a pancreas cell, that cell is protected and it can do its job. If you don't have protection around the cells and your score is low in the orange or the red, that means that cell is vulnerable to free radical damage, oxidative stress, and all of the things that can damage that cell and create disease in the body. Isn't it great to know that if our body is doing and performing at its optimum, that it is designed to heal itself if we empower it to do so? And what's interesting is that we are the only nutritional company in the world, and there are tons of companies out there, but we're the only one that gives a performance guarantee that our product is going to increase that scanner score. And this will come as a great little benefit is that most of these products are actually referred to and listed in the physician's desk reference. Now, a practitioner asked me recently if there were biomarkers or something in our product that was designed to trigger this device and show up as a measurement. And I said, no, this device is like the ultimate lie detector test because it doesn't care what you're putting in your body. It will tell you, however, if the organic foods that you're preparing or the supplements that you're taking are working. I've had people that are not on our supplements score very, very high, and I have had people that are taking hundreds of dollars in supplements score very, very low. So this really is the ultimate lie detector test. Now, antioxidants is what it's measuring, and it impacts all of these areas in the body, from our metabolic health to our gut health and everything in between. So if we can impact our antioxidants in a powerful and measurable way, we can impact our lifestyle. We can impact our youth span, and that's what it's all about. Another question that we get asked or that people will bring up is that they go for an annual or a biannual checkup with their doctors and that they get a blood serum draw. And what is interesting is that the scanner score and the blood serum draw corroborate each other. And so if you happen to love needles and you want to get a blood serum draw, you can continue to do that. But you can also get this information non-invasively with the scanner and be able to do something about it. And what is it that we do? Well, we're going to get you on products that are scanner certified, SCS products that are designed to raise your scanner score. And there are a myriad of those products. You can get with the person that invited you to this call and find out what they are and the best fit for you. But what we want to do is give you a measurable result and a performance guarantee. Because if your score does not go up, the company will give you your money back. And no other company in the world is giving a performance guarantee, 100% guarantee that it's going to increase your antioxidant score like we do. This is pretty exciting. Now, up until now, this device has been about the size of a shoebox, and there were limited numbers of them in the world. It's about to be the size, it's actually smaller than a hockey puck. It will fit in the palm of your hand, and it will be affordable for every single household in the world that wants to have it. This is exciting because this is literally right upon us. So the company that's behind this is Nu Skin. So we're talking about a global business, 21 years, multi-billion-dollar company, the world's #1 beauty and wellness device, and this will be a wellness device. We have won #1 for the last 6 years in a row. We have paid over $21 billion in commissions. We're a member of the Direct Selling Association, and we have 75 in-house PhD scientists. And we also have the Force for Good Foundation, which means that we are making a global impact philanthropically and building water wells and performing eye surgeries and feeding children that were dying from malnutrition all over the world. And so this is really a large part of who we are as a company. And it makes me proud to be a part of that. The company started in 1984, but they have been innovating. And as technology has advanced, one of the reasons that they have become such a giant in the industry and continue to be that is that they're constantly willing to innovate. Now, I'm not going to talk about this in a lot of detail, but I want you to know something else that we have that nobody else has. And that was that we first partnered with a company called LifeGen Technologies, and then we purchased them. So when we purchased them, we bought their 30 years of genetic and caloric research. And what LifeGen Technologies had done is been able to take all of the genes in the human body and begin to isolate which one controls what. And what you're looking at here is the 52 genes that control mitochondrial function, which is the little energy pack inside of every cell of your body. And so if that energy pack is doing its job, then the cell can do its job. So it's kind of important what is happening in our mitochondrial function, right? And so what you're looking at on the left is a youthful expression, like an 18-year-old, and you can see the green is upregulated, the red is downregulated, and then when we go to his 74-year-old grandfather, you can see that that almost reverses, that the things that were upregulated are now downregulated, and the things that were kind of suppressed and not expressing have now begun to express in age. Well, we put grandpa on a product that is designed to reset mitochondrial function. And after 6 weeks of being on the product, he had a 92% reset. It was 92% similar to the 18-year-old gene chip. I mean, if that doesn't make your jaw drop like it did mine when I saw this in 2011, I was like, oh my gosh, everything. And just to put it into perspective, I worked with plastic surgeons, medical spas, and dermatologists. Everything they were doing in the anti-aging category was treating the signs of aging and not the source of aging. What happens when you begin to treat the source of aging instead of just tinkering around with trying to make the symptoms go away, which is a temporary fix at best? What begins to happen in the body when you actually begin to treat the source of aging? God, that was a mic drop moment for me. All right, so you're probably wondering now, okay, I've heard enough. I'm excited about this. I want one of those handheld devices that can measure my family, my friends, all the people that I love. Everybody's going to want to know their score and they're going to want to do something about it. So, what can that mean for me? So Robert Kiyosaki has this quadrant, this cash flow quadrant that I wish that I would have heard about when I was in high school. Because on the left side of this quadrant, whether you have a job or you're working for yourself, if you are trading time for money, then you are vulnerable. In other words, if you took off for a month and your income would suffer, I'm talking to you. What we want to do is move over to the right side of this quadrant where you are a business owner, but more importantly, you have a system that is running outside of you being the hub of the wheel all the time. And then you have an income that's uncoupled from your time so that you can grow that income and then have your money work for you instead of you working for it. So, how do we do that? With zero risk, with zero investment? How do we start a business just with pure desire and grow it to something sustainable? Well, Mark Cuban says that if your products or services are not on automatic delivery, that you are doing it wrong. And one of the things that we know is that most of our products that are going to raise that scanner score are a 30-day supply. And once somebody gets on those products and they know how it feels in their body and they start to see the results on that device and they see that number going up, they never want to be without it. And they also want the best darn price that they can get. And that's what we have with our subscription model. When you get on subscription, not only do you save on the items, you get the top selling scanner certified products at wholesale cost. And not only that, but you earn product vouchers for free product the longer that you're on it. And this is something that is a duplication model that allows you to make money while you are asleep. So I want you to imagine that there are 50 of your friends and family members who've said, I want to know. I want to know my score. Not only that, but I have friends and relatives and neighbors that would want to know their score too, or the soccer team that I coach, or the classroom that I teach. I want to know what all of their scan score is. And imagine that those are 50 prisms that are out there, and that each one of them represents a subscription of $100 to the tune of 10. This would result in $2,500 a month in leveraged commission. And then I want you to imagine those same 50 prisms as a trajectory over time, and that 10 subscription grows into 100 subscriptions. Now you're talking about $25,000 a month in leveraged commission just by sharing something that you are passionate about and something that makes a difference for every mother, every biohacker, every athlete, everyone that is paying close attention to what they're putting in their body every day and they want to know what's happening in their body. All of those people are your audience. This is the launch that's occurring. Like literally right now, we're at the end of Q3 and the first 200 to 300 units. I should have my unit within the next week or so. And I'm so excited. Another 2,000 will go out in the fourth quarter. In the beginning of 2026, we're looking at 10,000 units, and then we're going to hit the mass market. This is also going to coincide with an opening of the country of India. And this device will be there where they are very tech savvy and very health conscientious. So this is all converging and happening for us all at once. Now, I want you to just consider the fact that with the current scanner that we have, there are 5,000 of them in the marketplace. And those 5,000 have resulted in 20 million scans. But the challenge is that the greater population hasn't had access to this device. There's simply not one of these devices everywhere. They are expensive and they are in scarcity out there. But I want you to imagine what's going to happen when this converts to 25,000 in the very first quarter of 2026 of a Prysm device that's going to be available to every household that wants it. This is where you are right now. This is your moment to get on board with us and to take advantage of this. So I want you to get with the person that invited you to this call, get your free account, and start your transformation. There are different nutrition kits that are available in different markets. I don't know if you're calling in from Argentina or Australia or the US or Canada or Mexico or any of the other countries that we do business in, but there is a nutrition kit that's actually perfect for you. And the person that invited you to the call can help you get on that product and get started in your transformational journey right now. It's your opportunity to see exactly how fast you're aging, have the power to do something about it, be able to restore your nutritional bank account because you actually know your starting point, have a healthy gene expression, which is something that you've probably never had access to understanding before, the ability to measure it, and a performance guarantee. This is truly intelligent wellness, and the timing is available for all of you right now. And I'm so excited that you joined me. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with me, and we will catch you on the flip side. Have the best day ever. Thank you so much.